Hi, Dan. How are you today?
Hey, good morning, Jordy. Another beautiful Sunday, another very exciting Hallmark from last night. Let's discuss how we feel about this Hallmark.
Yeah, this one was called My Dreams of You. It was one of the summer nights of Hallmark again.
Yes, Hallmark is bringing us a different genre of filmology, of films. And I think it's very interesting that they've now gone into the surreal, dream scenes, having your 8-year-old self, like we saw last week. And I think I like it. I think it's very interesting. It's taking a rom-com to a different level.
I couldn't agree more. All of a sudden, last night we were listening to, and I can't remember who plays this song, but we hear this, reminiscent of Dreamweavers, and it goes into the play of we're seeing these Dreamweavers recreate these characters' dreams.
And we don't know where these Dreamweavers are, but they're somewhere, and they made it into Hallmark last night.
Now, I don't know if our third party really loved the idea of this, because she's like, is that really who creates our dreams? And she was trying to think too much into this, but we didn't.
Well, everybody has dreams.
Yeah.
And you say, that's what dreams are made of. Yeah. Wonderful things happening, and we dream about that thing that's going to create such beauty for us. And that's what Hallmark tried doing last night. And either you had to like it or you didn't like it.
I think you and I are on the same page. Yes. I love the fact that these Dreamweavers, they called themselves, didn't have the same things that we as humans on our plane, is what they called it, had in their plane. Like when the Dreamweaver was introduced to pie and didn't know what it was, and she was so excited about tasting pie.
Tell people how the Dreamweavers worked in the Hallmark last night.
Okay, so here's the premise of this story. So supposedly when you dream at night, right, you kind of go off into La La Land, which we all do. Some of us remember our dreams and some of us don't. Now, what I found out last night, I don't remember my dreams, but somebody in this YouTube
I do remember my dreams.
Remembers every one of his dreams and wakes up my mother every morning with his dream.
Yeah, and some of them are wonderful and are beautiful, and some are not. But you wonder how they fit into Hallmark.
Right. And so, which I thought was crazy, because our lead character, played by Skylar Samuels, who was fantastic, remembers her dreams.
Yes. And she dreamed about this handsome, beautiful guitar player that she met one evening while sitting in a bar, and he sort of swept her off her feet.
Exactly. Now, the interesting part was she didn't understand why he didn't remember her from the dreams.
Yes.
But what we found out is he was one like me, who does not remember the dreams. Remember? So he did not remember dreams. And so that was kind of the swing. He doesn't remember his dreams. So we have rememberer dreams and people that don't remember dreams.
But that made the story for Hallmark, and how this lovely lady who remembered this beautiful gentleman, her dreams, actually had that dream broken by the Dreamweavers, and yet she meets him again, as if destiny is that she should meet and fall in love with him.
But breaking a rule of the Dreamweavers, because the problem is, in the Dreamweavers rules, you are only supposed to create dreams of things that had happened previously in their life, and she had never met.
And Hallmark does a great job
explaining
of weaving this story and bringing the two young lovers together outside of the dream.
It's amazing. And you see the dreams and the fogginess, and then you bring it into reality. So Michael is played by Capel, how do you pronounce his name? Capel Talwalkar, amazing, new to Hallmark, fantastic. Skylar's in the Aurora Teagarden series, so you may have seen her before, but he's new to Hallmark. I thought he was terrific.
But these are two accomplished actors and actresses. They grew up in California, and the lead lady has been performing in movies and in television since she was 10 years old. And the lead male is up and coming, and it's such a wonderful wonderful actor, and he's also a musician.
And his music was gorgeous in here. They feature, when they have musicians on, they truly can play whatever instrument they're playing or sing, and they always focus, they feature that. But with the Dreamweaver, so you have these Dreamweavers playing this part, and it's amazing how they bring them together and how they find each other. And of course, Hallmark at their best has a twist where something breaks them up, and then
they come back together.
And I really like this one.
Well,
what do you think?
Again, you're either going to like it and you're going to stay awake for it, or you're not going to like it and you'll turn it off and go somewhere else. However, what's interesting with Hallmark is that for the last 2 episodes, they've featured the Midwest, and particularly Michigan.
Yeah.
And they've also featured riding on trains. So people have been on Hallmark, on these 2 movies, gone to places like Kalamazoo and Grand Rapids. Remember, Grand Rapids is a beautiful city on the eastern shores of Lake Michigan, and that's the home of the former president Gerald Ford, since deceased, but he grew up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And we did trains, and we're riding trains. And this reminds me of a wonderful, wonderful movie called Before Sunrise, where a young man met a young lady while taking a train ride to Vienna. And if you've not seen that, and you're a rom-com Hallmark fan, I recommend looking up on YouTube Before Sunrise with Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy, and it's a trilogy, and you will have a wonderful, wonderful experience, and you will see how Hallmark has evolved from this particular film, Before Sunrise. And I think also we saw wonderful scenes of Montana and Whitefish, which is right near Glacier National Park. And we saw scenes supposedly of Portland, Oregon. However, Hallmark tricked us. That was not Portland, Oregon in the scenes. That was Ottawa, Canada. So Ottawa, Canada and Portland may look alike, but that's where the film was produced and directed. But this was a wonderful film, and I think you enjoyed the film.
I really did. I did. Yes. I loved the music was great. I loved the idea of the different planes and how the Dreamweavers came into our world, saw different things, and how when the actual you're assigned an actual Dreamweaver, each person, and they create these dreams from your memories and live it, and the character Emily was talking to her actual Dreamweaver, and the Dreamweaver took such pride in creating these dreams for her because she appreciated them.
I wonder who my Dreamweaver is. I like to meet that person and see what was happening.
It was great, I thought, right?
But again, Hallmark made us think, made us enjoy, again, the love that we see that's so common in all of Hallmark's movies. And what's for next week?
Well, before we get to next week, I did want to talk about, because there always is a happy ending, and if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, and that was talked about here.
Right.
That if it's, and I forgot the actual saying, but they said if fate's going to bring you all together, it is, and that's what this one talked about.
Right.
That if the paths are going to go together, they are, and that did.
And every one of us has dreams, and every one of us has a wonderful story of our life and how our dreams brought everything into focus.
And that's what the ending kind of brought to. So as true Hallmark fashion, there is always a happy ending.
It was a fun Hallmark.
Yes. 5 stars, 5 tears?
5 stars, no tears. It was just a great story.
All right.
And fun to watch.
Next week, we are going on a trip to Costa Rica for a Costa Rican wedding.
And I know people who went to Costa Rica to get married. Yes, it's Papa Deb's.
And this one looks fun. If we saw the previews and there's like a monkey involved, stealing stuff, and I think this is going to be a really fun one.
Well, I'm looking forward to watching this movie. And remember, next week, we're not going to have competition from the Olympics. The Olympics are over. They were wonderful. Glad they're over. But now we can get on with our summer, and we're going to get on with Hallmark. Looking forward to them bringing us another wonderful Hallmark.
Absolutely.
And we had a good time last night.
We did. We did. And I hope to have good dreams from my Dreamweaver coming up.
Enjoy the Hallmarks and have a wonderful week. Take care of yourself and take care of your loved ones.
Bye, everyone.